So, remember that time we were doing our d.i.y tutorial and I clipped a paperclip that flew off into oblivion? Well, some weeks later, I just found it. So, who the hell took it? Lucy! Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Player Display. It's been a very rough Saturday. It has been perpetually in the negatives throughout the entire day. It's been really frickin' cold, which is probably why you're hearing my little tiny baby heater over there. So I've been spending the entire day trying to stay warm, and I haven't been very productive at all. So I figured before I crash in bed, I'll do a very quick, lightning-fast tutorial. And this is something I have only done with 3.75-inch scale figures before, and I figured, it worked then, maybe it'll work now, so we'll give it another shot. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to secure a helmet onto a figure. In this case, Axwoves, who keeps showing up in these tutorials. It's almost as if he has some mechanical unsoundness that needs to be looked at, figured out, and redeemed through some basic modding. So this trick is very simple. So what I use in a lot of my handicraft is Model Magic clay. So it's a very nice balance between not being really crappy quality like Play-Doh and not being like that really advanced gray sculptor's clay that you need to bake or anything. And it's not like any of those multi-component paints, or not paints, but clays where you need to mix in two components together to get an epoxy or anything, which I've never worked with before, so maybe one day I'll do that. But yeah, this method's really simple. This video should be no more than 5 minutes. I'll probably yell at myself in the text box below if I'm wrong. So if you'll recall, we've seen Axwoves twice now. So we saw him in our first review, and then back at the time the helmet was very squished and very tight around his head, and it didn't look very good. So then the next time we saw him, we dropped his helmet in a warm water so that way it could get back into its proper shape, which now it is, and it looks a lot better. And now we're seeing him a third time because while the helmet looks really good, it is very, very floppy as, now it stays on. But yeah, see, there's no tension at all, so we're going to try and go ahead and fix that. Like, if you look at some Black Series figures, like Boba Fett, for example, for some people who have modded them so the helmet can be removable, they pull off the helmet to see that there is a slight mold underneath the helmet, so that way it keeps the helmet secure to the head that's underneath it. So here we're going to be doing exactly that, but the intention will instead be the helmet will be able to go on and stay secure, but we're still going to be able to remove it so that we can get our Axwove's face back. But basically we have our Model Magic clay, just get white, and this is a very good clay. It's not going to stain anything, it's not going to damage the figure at all, so we're just going to get a good wad of it, probably not even this big. Maybe the best way to gauge it is get the head up close, sort of get an idea of the surface area, and we pretty much want to have it go no further down than the forehead. I think that should be enough. So this should probably be, yeah, this is probably a little too much. Let's just get rid of a little bit there. Roll up this little ball of clay a little bit in our fingers, drop the ball inside, squish it down a little bit. We're going to take our Axwoves, be sure that his head is nice and aligned if we can help it, and then basically as straight as possible, kind of Revenge of the Sith with Darth Vader, just slowly lower the helmet on, and basically the clay should be sort of squishing downwards along the sides of his head. Now we see that it's nice and secure, and it's not popping off of his head or anything anymore, which is really good. Everything seems to be lined up pretty nicely. And yeah, that's pretty much all I need to film for today. We're just gonna let him sit for maybe a good 12 hours, literally that's it. And then tomorrow we'll take off the helmet and just see what he looks like. Alright, so here we are an afternoon later, now in the illumination of sunlight, which is very refreshing. And here's Axwoves again. It's been about 12 hours, roughly. I'm just gonna go ahead, pull the helmet straight off, and we'll see what's happened under here. Ooh, okay. So it looks like everything stayed exactly where it was. So as you can see in there, we got a really nice sort of imprint, almost a death mask of the top of Axe's head right there. So whenever you expose the surface of this model magic clay for the first time, of course it's going to be wet. And then you want to give it a good 12 hours to be, I wouldn't say hard, but it's going to maintain its shape by that point. So we're going to let it sit for another good amount of time. I'm not sure how long. Tomorrow's a work day, so I don't know when I'll be filming next. I guess one thing I'll mention is if you try this mod and the clay comes off with the head, take the clay off, let it keep its shape, then let it dry. And then once it's nice and tender, put it back inside of the helmet and just glue it right up there. And then it should serve the exact same purpose. But in this case, it doesn't look like it's coming out. It's looking pretty strong. If it does come out later, then yeah, I'll just glue it right back in. But yeah, we'll give it a few hours or days, I don't know yet, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so here we are a little bit over a day later, and I brought the jetpack back. I totally forgot to use it while I was doing the water tutorial, so whatever, I brought it back so this figure could be complete once again. It looks like it might be a tad cracked. That shouldn't be a huge deal, so let's just try slotting it on the head and see how it looks. Yeah, it seems okay, so no more of that wobble anymore. It's nice and sturdy. Everything's moving good. The chin's pretty aligned. It's also not poking out from under the helmet too much. It is a little bit, but from the front and even from the side, you're not going to notice too much. And then if we remove it, everything seems okay. Yeah, so I'm going to call on this one. We'll do another test. Looks just fine. So yeah, that's about it. So that is how you go about securing your action figure, mainly Star Wars Black Series helmets with Model Magic clay. And let's say you do this whole mod and then you realize that it's not very good of a fit, or the clay cracks to the point that it crumbles a little bit, then just put more clay in, just rinse and repeat. I'd say if you're doing a second pass, do a very thin layer just to be on the safe side, but then that should help to make everything whole again on the inside of there. And again, if one day you pop off the helmet and somehow the entire chunk comes out, just put a little bit of glue on it and then it'll stick up to the top, no problem. Maybe let it dry out there on its own for a while. But yeah, once you do that, you shouldn't have an issue, and now we no longer have a wobbly helmet. And again, the clay is not going to create any residue on the head sculpt. As you can see, there's nothing stuck. It's not hurting the sculpt details or the paint or anything, so totally safe clay. It's a hair on the pricey side, but you get a lot of bang for your buck, especially if you're working with things as small as this, and the clay is good for a lot of other things too. So yeah, now Axe Woves is fully functional. I think that's about gonna do it, but hey, we finally produced a video that's not too overly long, so yay, it's a first for this channel. Woohoo, we can make short videos apparently. If you like this very quick little tutorial, showcase, whatever the hell you'd like to call it, then please, as per usual, be sure to
like,
comment,
and subscribe. Or leave a bad review for your favorite comic book movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
And again, I have a whole ton of figures coming in for us to review, and we'll have a great time. We'll sit down, review some figures, do a few unboxings. It's going to be a blast, so get ready for that. And thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Alright, so here we are, the afternoon later in the... okay, bye.